Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to show you all how I fill in my brows. On one side we're going to use a pomade and on one side we're going to use a powder. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with the powder side. So how I start out is I take a spoolie. Right now we're going to use the Winky Lux. This is actually a brow pencil, but it's got a spoolie on one side. So we're going to use that. And I always just kind of comb through my brows, get them going the way I like. And before I start doing my brows, I always like to kind of brush them up. And with like some baby scissors, any small scissors that you have, I like to brush them up. And then any hairs, like I need to do it now, any hairs that are where I like them to be, I just kind of trim them, and I do that all the way around. They need to be done right now, but unfortunately I can't find the scissors, so we're just going to go without that right now. And to start out, I always like to use, when I'm using powder, a shaping wax. This is the Nowlin Brow Shaping Clear Wax. Actually, we should probably zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so now I've got the wax on. I've got hair that keeps getting in my lipstick. Do I have it on my teeth? No, okay. So for the powder part today, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo. Mine is in the shade medium brown. I really like this because it comes with two different shades. It comes with a lighter shade and a darker shade, which you can see I really prefer the darker shade, but I do use the lighter shade a lot for the beginning just to make it look a little more natural. And the brush I'm using actually has a spoolie. I forgot. My other brush, the Anastasia brush, the spoolies broke off, so I forgot that this one does have one. This is the Bodyography Pro brow brush. I will leave it linked below. So the Anastasia brush is really great. That's the one I've always used, but the spoolies broke off, so now I've been using this one. But I've got them shaped and the wax is holding them in the way I want. I just go into the darker powder. If you don't have a specific brow powder, just find a eyeshadow shade or bronzer even that is close to the brow color that you desire, and that will even work too. You don't necessarily have to have a specific brow product to be able to do your brows with powder. Now I always like, I hope you guys can see good, how I always start at the front and I just kind of map it out the way I want it to go. Get the bottom first. I'll always start with the bottom, and then at the top where that's more of a sparse region, I usually start with the powder about right here. Okay, so now I've kind of got it drawn out the way I want my brows to look. So I just kind of take my little brush here and just kind of start filling it in. Okay, sorry about that. I had a slight camera malfunction. But all I was saying is I just take my brush and fill in just short little strokes. You never want any harsh lines, and you definitely don't want any harsh lines in your eyebrows either. The best way to achieve that is just by filling them in with small strokes. And also that will kind of mimic the appearance of real hairs. Okay. Now when I get to the front, I take the lighter colored powder and just whatever is left on my brush, and I just kind of do this upwards. I don't like it to go too squared off, and using that lighter shade helps that from looking so squared off, because I feel like when it is just like a squared off eyebrow that it doesn't really look natural, because your real eyebrows aren't going to be just perfectly square like that. So it kind of helps. Always make sure to go back and brush through, that way everything is blended, because you do still want your eyebrows to look blended as well. And make sure you didn't miss anywhere. Okay, now even though I did use the wax to begin with to hold them in place, when I'm using a powder, I always like to go over it with a brow gel. It just kind of holds them in place after the powder is set. It just leaves the powder staying in place. The one I'm using right now is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Chella makes a good brow gel. The Brow Gal makes a good brow gel. Even Wet n Wild makes a good tinted brow gel. This one does kind of make your brows kind of hard, but I do like that because they're not moving, they're not going anywhere, and you know they're in place the way you wanted them to look, and they're stuck like that all day long. So I just go through and rub a little bit of that through, and then to finish the brow look off, I go with a matte shade. I'm using right now, just stuck my finger in it, but I'm using White Lies by Makeup Geek. This is the best under eyebrow shade. Pick up some powder and just pop it right under where the arch is of my brow. I don't have a blending brush in here, or I would just go back and blend that out. Make sure there's no harsh lines there, but unfortunately I do not have a brush in here, so we're just going to pretend that I did that, okay? Okay, so that's how I fill in with powder. So now on to part 2, and we will get into the pomade. I'm going to be using the same brush that I will link below. To clear off the powder and set it for the pomade, I'm using this. It's called Insta Clean. It's just a little sponge that you rub your powder products on, and it makes your brush nice and clean again, gets all the powder off. And then when your little sponge gets dirty, you can just wash it like you would a brush, and you're ready to go. It's nice for travel, or if you don't have a whole lot of brushes and you need to use a dark shade and then a light shade, having this is really nice. For the pomade, I love this pomade. If you've watched my videos, you've seen me use this several times. And they make, I believe, 6 shades. I'm in the shade medium brown. I was worried that I would need one darker, but medium brown is fine. I'm going to go through and just brush all my hairs into the way that I want them to go. I'm not going to use a wax this time. You could, but I'm just not going to because the pomade really holds it up. And then I just take my pomade and just dab it a little bit, and then any excess I just kind of brush off on the side. And I start in the same place as I do the powder. I always start in the front. I like to pick up just a little bit of product because it's a lot easier to build up than put on too much product and try to fix it. But to me, that's just easier and prevents me from having a mistake that is a lot harder to fix. This e.l.f. pomade is actually the first pomade that I've ever used, and I honestly am very happy with it. You can't beat it. Like, it is amazing. It stays in place all day. It will be there until you wash your brows off. You would never believe that it is a $4 product. There is some very good hidden gems within their line, and this is one of them. When I'm working with a pomade, I like to start at the tail I just kind of shape the tail the way I want it to go. And I fill the tail in first. I don't know why. You don't necessarily have to fill the tail in first. But for me, I just feel like it's easier. If I've gotten out of the line any, I'll just take my finger, kind of wipe it away. It's real simple. And it kind of makes it a little more natural looking, where it's kind of got just the faded end. And then I do the same thing, just small short strokes to mimic real hair. I always start at the bottom and do my strokes upwards. Then when we get to the front, I don't have two different shades of pomade, so I just kind of brush off the excess, and then I just take what product is left and just kind of press it upwards like so. And then always go back just like in the powder and brush through. Make sure everything is nice and blended. And that's the difference. It's kind of giving me a glare. Hopefully it's not giving you all one. This is with the pomade. And then this one is with the powder. And then also, once you are done, you can go over it with the brow gel, but this pomade specifically, I don't feel the need to do that. Once it dries, it's there. It's not going anywhere, I promise you. Same technique, I take the shade White Lies on the same brush, and I just pop that on the brow. Alright, that is how I fill in my brows with powder and pomade. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. I hope you all are having a blessed night, day, wherever you are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Please follow me on all my social media. I will leave it all linked down below for you all. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!